Hello and welcome to the Safe Travel Guide, a channel aimed at discussing and showing the dangers and risks of modern-day travel. Today we delve deep into the 20 most dangerous places to visit in 2024. We'll uncover the specific risks and highlight the no-go zones, utilizing statistics and real-world data from the past 5 years. 1. Afghanistan. Risks: terrorism, kidnapping, civil unrest. Afghanistan remains a hotspot for terrorism, with groups like the Taliban and ISIS having significant presence. Foreign travelers face high risk of kidnapping. No-go zones. Kabul is plagued with suicide bombings. Kandahar and Helmand province are centers of insurgent activity. 2. Syria. Risks: civil war, terrorism, kidnapping. The ongoing civil war has devastated the country, with various factions controlling different areas. No-go zones. Aleppo and Raqqa face constant conflict. Idlib is under control of several rebel groups. 3. South Sudan. Risks: civil conflict, crime, humanitarian crisis. Ongoing ethnic conflicts and a lack of governmental control make it extremely unstable. No-go zones. Juba, Bor, and Bentiu have seen fierce fighting and massive displacement. 4. Yemen. Risks: civil war, terrorism, kidnapping. The civil war has led to a humanitarian crisis, with Houthi rebels clashing with Saudi-led forces. No-go zones. Sana'a, Taiz, and Hodeidah are war zones with constant airstrikes and battles. 5. Iraq. Risks: terrorism, armed conflict, kidnapping. ISIS may have lost territory, but the risk of terrorism remains high. No-go zones. Mosul is recovering from ISIS occupation. Baghdad and Anbar province see regular terrorist attacks. 6. Somalia. Risks: terrorism, piracy, armed conflict. With a weak central government, al-Shabaab terrorists frequently launch attacks. No-go zones. Mogadishu is a hotbed of terrorist activity. Puntland and south-central Somalia are rife with piracy. 7. Libya. Risks: civil war, terrorism, crime. The country remains divided, with various factions vying for control. No-go zones. Tripoli and Benghazi are plagued by militia battles. Southern Libya is lawless. 8. Central African Republic. Risks: armed conflict, banditry, unstable government. Constant clashes between armed groups make it very dangerous. No-go zones. Bangui, Bambari, and Bria are often caught in crossfire. 9. Mali. Risks: terrorism, kidnapping, unstable government. Northern Mali is a haven for jihadist groups. No-go zones. Timbuktu, Gao, and Kidal are under constant threat from terrorists. 10. Venezuela. Risks: crime, political unrest, humanitarian crisis. Economic collapse has led to widespread crime and political unrest. No-go zones. Caracas has one of the highest murder rates. Maracaibo and Valencia face rampant crime and shortages. 11. Nigeria. Risks: terrorism, armed conflict, kidnapping. Boko Haram and other criminal groups pose a significant threat. No-go zones. Borno State is a Boko Haram stronghold. Delta region and northern Nigeria face terrorism and kidnapping. 12. Pakistan. Risks: terrorism, sectarian violence, kidnapping. Pakistan's border with Afghanistan is particularly dangerous. No-go zones. Peshawar faces terrorist threats. Baluchistan and KPK are unstable. 13. Democratic Republic of Congo. Risks: armed conflict, disease outbreaks, crime. The eastern DRC is a battleground for various armed groups. No-go zones. Eastern DRC, including Goma, faces constant conflict. Kinshasa outskirts are crime-ridden. 14. Haiti. Risks: political instability, crime, kidnapping. The country's political turmoil has led to widespread violence. No-go zones. Port-au-Prince, especially Cité Soleil and Martissant, are highly dangerous. 15. Ukraine. Risks: armed conflict, landmines, unstable security. The conflict with Russia makes certain areas particularly risky. No-go zones. Donetsk and Luhansk are conflict zones. Crimea is annexed and under Russian control. 16. Sudan. Risks. Civil unrest, terrorism, crime. Ongoing conflicts in several regions pose risks to travelers. No-go zones. Darfur is notorious for violence. Khartoum and South Kordofan are unstable. North Korea. Risks. Totalitarian regime. Arbitrary detention, restricted freedom. The regime's policies make it risky for foreigners. No-go zones. The entire country poses risks due to the government's unpredictability. 18. Mexico. Risks. Drug cartel violence, kidnapping, crime. Despite being a popular tourist destination, certain areas are controlled by drug cartels. No-go zones. States like Guerrero, Michoacán, and Tamaulipas are notorious for cartel violence. Cities such as Acapulco and Tijuana also have high crime rates. 19. Philippines. Risks. Terrorism, kidnapping, armed conflict. Parts of the Philippines face threats from terrorist groups like Abu Sayyaf. No-go zones. Mindanao, particularly Marawi, has seen ISIS-linked terrorist activities. Sulu Archipelago is known for kidnappings. 20. Colombia. Risks. Drug cartel violence, kidnapping, armed conflict. Although much improved, certain areas are still under the influence of drug cartels and guerrillas. No-go zones. Rural areas in departments like Norte de Santander and Cauca have high presence of armed groups. Each of these countries presents unique challenges and risks. From terrorism and armed conflict to high crime rates and unstable political situations, these destinations require extreme caution. Before considering travel to these areas, it's crucial to stay informed about the current situation, consult with travel advisories, and understand the specific risks involved in each location. Avoiding the no-go zones is essential for your safety. Remember, the world is vast and full of safer destinations to explore. Always prioritize your safety and well-being when choosing your next travel destination. Never forget that common sense and respect for other cultures will always get you further than being ignorant or careless. Do not disrespect local law enforcement or military. Be extremely mindful of your language and behavior in and around religious sites, particularly in Islamic nations. Avoid trouble or confrontations with locals, which can escalate quickly and will draw attention to you. Do not trust strangers, no matter how well-intentioned they may seem. Plan your journeys. Use Uber or a trusted taxi service or driver. Keep important documents safely stored and locked away. Do not carry excessive amounts of cash or display items of wealth, as this may make you a target for kidnapping or robbery. Save the location of your country's embassy or consulate in your phone and on paper. You will need it should you run into trouble. If you found this guide helpful, please like, share and subscribe for future travel safety tips and guides. Thanks for watching the Safe Travel Guide. And remember, always travel safely.